Well, hello everyone. My name is Tim Lee. I'm director and founder of Collaborate MK, and this is one of a series of interviews where I have conversations with Collaborate MK members that have the gold membership package. And today I'm in conversation with Dr. AJ Yates from Dog First Aid. So, hi AJ, and great to see you.
Yes, morning. How are you?
Yeah, fine, thank you. Fine, thank you.
Jolly good. And I'll ask it twice because I teach first aid for mental health. So, like, really, are you okay? Because we have that habit of saying "you okay" to people, and all we're really saying is "good morning." Whereas actually, if you want to know if someone is okay, then you ask the question twice. So you're giving someone permission to tell me. Probably like on a Zoom call that's going out in the public domain, you wouldn't tell me if there was like lots of things going on in your life, but you do have permission, Tim, to say if you're not okay. It's absolutely fine.
Yeah, that's really interesting to hear. So I've not come across that, but again, that's the power of these conversations. So that's certainly a new one to me, and we'll get that out to the wider audience. So tell me, AJ, where did your career start exactly?
It probably started when I was about 9 years old, I think, because I joined St John Ambulance as a volunteer. Uh, a friend of mine went to St John, and then my sister was a nurse at the time, and she was quite encouraging because she thought that learning first aid would be a good thing to do. And so I went along to see what it was like, and more than 40 years later, I was still there. So it was very much a case that I just took to first aid. I just liked helping people. I liked the fact, I liked learning how the body worked and
Yeah.
what could go wrong, but what to do and what someone with very few skills could actually do to make a difference if somebody did become unwell or had an accident. And yeah, did that for 4 decades. So within that time, did a lot of duties with St John Ambulance, gaining a lot of experience doing first aid, and eventually became one of their instructors. I had what I believe it's Frank Skinner calls an intellectual midlife crisis. So at one point I went to university. So started off doing a degree in herbal medicine,
Yeah.
and then went through doing a module in physiology at Wolverhampton, and then my master's in medical anthropology, and then my teaching qualification, and then my PhD that investigated women's lived experience of distress. So all those kind of like came together because at some point St John Ambulance decided they were going to start teaching mental health first aid.
Right.
And because I already had the research experience and expressed an interest in it, I was part of their first cohort that learned how to teach mental health first aid and loved it. And it was on that course that one of the trainers said, "Don't forget, it's not the organisation that's accredited. Like you're the trainee, you're the one that's accredited." And that just like a little light bulb went on that made me think, "Oh, so maybe I could do this for myself." And yeah, but little did I know back in the 70s that that was going to be the path I'd take.
No, and not many people do at that sort of stage. But no, that's a very clear direction you had as well, which is quite rare when I do these interviews or just generally talking to people. But you had quite a clear direction at an early age. Um, so with White Dog First Aid, what sort of services do you offer your clients?
So lots based around either first aid or first aid for mental health.
Yeah,
So normally courses start around about sort of half a day, so basic life support. So really what to do in a dire emergency through things like primary survey, recovery position, CPR, but then going through the all the Ofcol regulated first aid at work qualifications up to the
yeah,
3 day first aid at work course. And on the first aid for mental health, again, there's a half day awareness course, but there's a 1 day and there's a 2 day supervising first aid for mental health course. But this year has been a year where I've needed to revalidate on things, but also taking the opportunity to upskill. So I can also teach things like anaphylaxis, defibrillator, oxygen therapy, airway management, and I'm also got a couple of collaborations with
yeah.
Collaborate members. So writing a short course with Sue Pardy, all around sort of actually managing mental health in the workplace. And it's great having mental health first aiders and supporting well-being. But what actually happens if someone does start to struggle, maybe has to take time off? What's the best practice in those sorts of instances? And I'm currently doing the neurodiversity trainer training as well, being taught by Sue Garner, who I know that you know.
Yes, absolutely.
So lots of things in the pipeline as well. They're going to be coming on stream next year.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, I can certainly relate to the sort of mental health in the workplace because it was words that weren't mentioned years ago. Let's face it, going back over the years. Just to me, it's only been in this last 4 or 5 years, but the terminology has been used correctly, let's say, especially in the workplace. So it's great to get that message over. And I think, again, maybe the cynical side of me says we can't have companies just having a little tick box, right? Yeah, you'll be in charge of there, you'll be in charge there. That keeps everybody happy. No, it's all about the training from yourself, Sue, and Sue, to get that message over properly. And businesses have to take it seriously, full stop. So no,
And
that's
they're the ones that maybe don't necessarily see the benefit, the ones that think, oh, hang on a second, like, yeah, well-being, mental health,
yeah,
let's send somebody on a course and then we've ticked the box. The ones that really get it and see the benefits from
yeah,
supporting well-being are the ones that are embedding well-being within the organization.
yeah,
So it's not just top down and bottom up. It's like every level they're thinking about well-being, and having people trained in first aid for mental health is one part of that. But looking at the whole culture, and one of the nice things with the first aid for mental health course, as opposed to first aid at work, which is very reactive, you don't
mm,
think about your training until
yeah,
somebody falls down the stairs or you
yeah,
think they might be having a heart attack.
yeah,
But on the first aid for mental health, it is more proactive. We all have mental health. So
yeah.
what can we do to keep people well so they don't get ill in the first place?
Yeah, no, exactly, and I so agree with that because yeah, something happens at work, you need people that are trained, ready to step in. But mental health, that's ongoing. That's 24/7, isn't it? That's the thing. So marvelous. So tell me, what sort of challenges do you face with your business then?
It's standing out in what
Mm,
was a rapidly became an oversaturated market. When I started back in 2018 and I started networking,
yeah,
if I said that I taught first aid for mental health, the next thing I'd have to do is explain to people what that was. But like
yeah,
I said, there's been a real sort of like
yeah,
change in the last 5 years.
yeah,
So more and more people are training, but especially during lockdown, because all the courses that at that time were face to face, that all had to stop. And so any trainer that was furloughed, a lot of them thought, right, okay, what else can I upskill into? Um, and it's difficult, I think, for a lot of companies when they're looking for a trainer, because some years ago, the health and safety executive had a list of accredited trainers, but at some point they decided that actually we don't do training, we don't know what makes a good trainer. So it's down to the company to choose someone that is suitable to do their training. And so you need to look at things like their background. Why do they teach what they teach? What are their
yeah,
qualifications? Um, is the qualification valid? Is it does it have a certain level of validation behind it that means you're confident that your people are going to get what they need out of the course? And confidence is a big thing for me. I did a course yesterday, 1 day course, and I said to them at the start, like, this is the syllabus. It's 1 day. We've got a lot to pack in. But if there's anything that you want to know that isn't covered, let me know, and we'll make sure that you go confident at the end of the day, because that's what it needs to be. People go to work, and they don't normally need to think about these things. But if something does happen, I just don't want them to feel like they're floundering. I want them to feel like that they have those skills. And I always say to people, like, you got my contact details. You can get back in contact with me afterwards if something comes up. If you've got any
mm.
questions, you're not on your own for like 3 years. You can always contact me and say this has happened or that's happened, and did I do the right thing or what should I do in that situation?
That is so good. That is so good because that's what people know. Because people won't open up straight away, but they might open up next time to you and say, "Right, this is a problem," and so on and so forth. And then you're there to help and support. And no, that's really really good. That you're offering that because you just don't know what people are thinking on the inside, and you see it day after day. But I always relate back to my sort of previous workplaces, and people go quiet for a week or two, and the old saying was, "Oh, man up and get on." I was always in a male environment, as you know from our conversations in electrical retail, and people would go quiet, and no one would want to ask, leave him alone, he'll be all right. And then this is going back over many years, but people have just
And it
got to
makes
open up and
sense.
talk about it now. It's got
No,
to
and
happen.
sometimes people are scared. They're scared
Yeah,
they're going to say the wrong thing. But
yeah,
but having a genuine concern for someone and showing
yeah,
that concern is rarely going to be taken badly.
yeah,
So that's quite an important point to make.
yeah. It's absolutely vital. So brilliant. So, well, thank you so much for the conversation today, AJ. Really enjoyable. It's great to hear more about how your career started, and we look forward to seeing you at the next event. Brilliant.
Yeah, lovely to
Nice.
chat. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks, AJ.